everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video we are going to see about systems definition and the classification of systems. So first let's get into our topic. What is meant by system? So a system is generally defined as some operation which is performed to get a proper output. So that is a basic definition of system. Technically it is called as a system designated with capital T. Why this capital T means transformation. We are performing some operation to perform so that we are getting some output. Next, so that's why it is denoted with generally T. Mechanically describable operation or transformation that performs operation on input to produce an output. So why we are performing on input to get this output means, for example, let us say a speech signal. So a speech signal with our human voice is audible to a certain range. When I perform some operation, that is the usage of a mic, there some operation is performed so that it can be visible to a crowd of 1,000 people or more. So depending upon the practical application and our requirement, we are using this system. So now we'll see what are the types of system, how a system is operatable to get an output signal. So first I have taken my input signal. Now for this input signal I am going to perform some operation with the help of system. Next I am getting an output signal. So this is a basic operation of system. Next, the category of systems are defined of 6 types. In that 6, 3 are defined as amplitude dependency and 3 are defined as time dependency. So we'll see what are those 3 of amplitude and these 3 of time dependent. After the definition of each system, we may get a 2 more question on this. That's why we are discussing it here. Next, coming to the classification of system, we have 6 types of system: linear and non-linear, time variant and invariant, causal and non-causal, static and dynamic, stable and unstable, invertible and inverse systems. So among these 6, the red noted one, that is linear, the stable, invertible, these categories of systems are defined as amplitude dependent. Remaining 3, that is time invariant, causal, static, we can say these 3 are defined as time dependent systems. Why this category, we'll see after each and every system definition. Next we'll see the first one, that is linear and non-linear system. So a system is said to be linear if it satisfies 2 conditions. First one is called as additivity, second one is called as superposition principle, or we can say homogeneity. If it satisfies these 2, then it is called as linear, otherwise it is called as non-linear. So first one, additivity, is what we'll see. Let me take my x1 of t as input signal. I'm performing some operation so that I'm getting y1 of t as output signal. Next, similarly, let me take as x2 of t as input. Some operation is performed so that I got y2 of t. Then my input combination, that is x1 plus x2, should produce the output combo, that is y1 plus y2. So the additive operation on input should resemble the additive operation at output. Then I can say it is obeying additivity principle. Next, this is the first case. Second case is called as what? Superposition principle. So here we can say it is scaling operation also. I am using some scalar operation so that here I have at input section I have performed some scaling operation with the help of A and B. That operation should resemble the same scaling operation at output side. So then I can say it is obeying superposition principle. Otherwise it is not obeying superposition principle. Now I can say here with the scalar C also. So just 2 types of notations for the scaling I have defined. So this is about linear system. First one, it should obey additivity. Second one, it should obey scaling. Then only the system is called as linear. Otherwise it is called as non-linear system. So C into x of t I have taken. Then the system should get the output with a scaling of that same factor whatever has done at input side, that is C into y of t. Then it is called as it is a linear system obeying additivity as well as scaling. This is about the first case of system. Next one is what? Time invariant and variant system. So TIV and TV general notation. So time invariant and variant, name itself saying something. So first let me explain with the example. First, here I have taken for a time invariant system, if so I have taken invariant. Let me check whether it is invariant or variant. Let me take x1 of t as input signal. I have performed some operations so that I got my y1 of t. Then now I have changed my t to t0 here. Okay, so then also I should get my output at the t0 itself. Means, so whatever may be the time change here, it should not change at here output side. So here let me take x1, instead of 0 it is starting at 2 point. Then my output should also start at 2 point. So for my x1 of 2 input I am getting y1 of 2. Then I can say it is not time changeable. So it is time invariant one. Getting the point? So a system is said to be time invariant if the input-output characteristic does not change with time. For suppose here I have taken x1 of 2, which is resembling output as some other value, not at that time. Then I can say it is time variant. So the time should not change. Then that system is called as time invariant system. So whatever may be the changes happen here, if it balances at the output side, then I can say it is time invariant. If there is an imbalance, then I can say it is time variant system. So example I am saying here, y of n equals to x of n minus 5. So for suppose y of 1 I have taken, then instead of n I should replace here 1. 1 minus 5 means what? X of minus 4. So when y of 1 is there, x of minus 4 is there. So here for that 1 with respect to time, here also I am getting the change it input side as well as output side. Then I can say it is time invariant. But here you see, if I replace this t with some 5 value, y of 5 equals to 5 into x of 5. Here this time, here also it is changeable. This should not happen. Here t term is there, means this is changing the output signal. When x is changing alone, then I can say it is time invariant. But here this parameter is also changing. So in this way it is time variant system. It is changing. When input is changing, output should not change. It should also resemble at that same time. But here that process is not happening. That's why it is a time variant system. Next one is what? Causal and non-causal system. So causal signal we have seen, non-causal signal we have seen. Now we are coming into a system category. So before this definition, let me go through these examples. Now let me take y of n equals to a into x of n plus b into x of n minus 1. So a system is said to be causal when my output should depend on present input and past input. Why? What is this present input, past input? I'll give an example. Let me take n equals to 0. So my y of 0 is equals to a into x of 0 plus b into x of minus 1. So my output is depending upon x of 0 as well as x of minus 1. So this is a past value, I can say past input. This is a present input. So my output is depending upon present input as well as past input. Then I can say the system is causal. Otherwise it is non-causal. Here we can say, let me write y of 0 here. So y of 0 equals to a into x of 1 plus c into x of 3. So my output at 0 at the time sample is on future input. So x of 1 compared to 0, 1 is future value, 3 is also future value. So it is non-causal. My present, whenever you are getting a question, just we have to, for our reference I am saying, just type right here 0 or any, substitute any value. Then my output should get present input or past input. Past input means, for suppose here 0 is there. n equals to 0, substitute here. Y of 0 equals to a into x of 0. Okay, 0 is depending upon 0 of input. But here 0 is depending upon minus 1 of sample at input. This is past value. Then it is causal. But here if we substitute 0, it is asking x of 1. So my output at 0th sample is depending upon future value of 1, which is not a causal equation. That's why it is non-causal. So this is a causal and non-causal. So now if we see the definition, a causal system is one whose present response does not depend on future values. So it should depend on present and or past values only, not future values. If future values come, then it is obviously a non-causal system. This is about causal and non-causal. Now, static and dynamic system, memoryless and memory system. So static means what? Simple. My output should depend upon present input only. If y of 1 should happen means that y of 1 should depend on x of 1, not x of 2, x of 3, like that. So this is a case I can say it is static. But here if we see my y of 1, so I am simply substituting, not I'm getting into the definition, or I am not by-hearting. So if we see the expression, we should remember this y of 0, let me take n equals to 0, y of 0 equals to x of 0 plus 3. What it is giving? X of 3. So this x of 3 means what? My 0th sample is depending upon some other input, that is third sample of input. Means I should hold the value of x of 3. Means that is a memory system. I should remember what is the value at x of 3. So that's why it is a dynamic system. If y of 0, my present output is depending upon present input only, then I can say it is static. Otherwise it is dynamic. Simple one. So a system is said to be static if its output at t equals to t0 depend only on the values of input at t equals to t0. Whatever the output I'm asking, it should depend on the input. If it is 2, 2 should happen at input. 4, 4 should happen. If here 4, it is asking for 4 plus 3, 7. Not like that. So balancity between these two of same values should happen. Then I can say it is static. Otherwise it is dynamic system. Now, coming to the next one, very important one, stable and unstable system. So simply I can say stability of a system means it should be an amplitude of finite value. That is what called as bounded input, bounded output. So for suppose I have given some input with amplitude 5, then I can say it is bounded input. So let me take x of n as input. It should have a finite value. That's why I'm stressing here less than infinite for all values of n. N may be 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20. Minus 10 if I take also, modulus is there, so that amplitude gives us positive value. So my bounded input, I can say a finite value of input should produce a finite value of output. Then that system is called as stable. So finite value is I have performed some operations, so that finite value came as output. Then I can say it is stable. Otherwise it is unstable. The best example is unit step. If I take as input of amplitude unit step, as we know amplitude is 1, then I can say it is bounded input only. So that my output should obviously get bounded output. Then that is stable. Otherwise it is unstable. So a bounded signal has an amplitude of finite value. This is very important. A finite value of input signal should produce a finite value of output. So example, y of t equals to x of t. That x of t may be a sinusoidal signal with a duration of time, maybe a ramp signal with a duration of time, like that. So I can simply say it is bounded input, bounded output, so that it is a stable one. Otherwise, if I am getting infinite value, then it is simply unstable system. That's it. Next one is invertible and inverse system. So a system is said to be invertible means what? So first here I have taken x of t as my input signal. I have performed some transformation so that I got my output as y of t. From this y of T. If I perform the reverse operation what I have done over here, I should recover my input signal. Then I can say it is invertible. Otherwise it is inverse system, the simplest one. So the definition of invertible is a system is said to be invertible if the input of the system can be recovered from the output. From output, I should recover my input by performing the complete reverse T inverse, that is 1 by T. So whatever the operations I have performed, that reverse operation I should perform so that my input should come here from output. Then I can say it is invertible. Otherwise the system is called as inverse system. So that T into T inverse is nothing but identity. So simple mathematical equation as we know this one. So this is about invertible and inverse systems. This is the category of all systems whatever we have discussed. So now let me move on to the actual classification. So we have seen linear and non-linear, time variant and invariant, causal and non-causal, static and dynamic, stable and unstable, invertible and inverse. Now we'll categorize. Linearity means I should check homogeneity, additivity. Homogeneity refers to scaling. Scaling means what? Amplitude dependency. That's why it is called as amplitude dependent system. Next, stability, as now we discussed, bounded input means what? Amplitude of finite value. That's why it is also amplitude dependent system. Invertible means what? From output we should get input. So that output input shape means what? Will come into category of amplitude. That's why linear, stable, invertible, all these systems are called as amplitude dependency system. Now time variant and invariant means what? So time values, name itself saying it is depending upon time value. Next, causal and non-causal means what? So causal is depending upon present or end or past values of inputs. So that relates time. Static means also relates to time. So that's why these three categories of 2, 3, 4 column are defined as time dependency, and these three are defined as amplitude dependency. Between these 2 points a gate question has come. That's why I'm explaining it again and again. So this is about the category of linearity and non-linearity, time variant and invariant, causal, stable, all these categories we have seen. Now, so just a quick random. Additivity principle we have seen. Next is what? Time invariance and time variance. Next, causal and non-causal, static and dynamic, stability and instability system, invertible and inverse system. Next, now coming to the problem. So definitely a long type of question we may expect based on types of signals or types of systems. So many questions are repeated on types of systems, especially linearity, stability. We have seen causality, variance and invariant. So all these things we have seen. Now, how about the problem? How to resolve that problem is the main question for us. So stay tuned to my channel for next video. We'll solve a 2 to 3 problems of this to know the given system belongs to which category. So this is about the systems classification. Thank you for watching this video.